Deron.
Hooray!
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Darren Harris Show. This is episode number 45. That's right. How you doing? Hope you had a good week. My week was pretty decent, I guess. Starting to do some remodeling to our coach. That's going pretty good. I'll talk about that probably here in a little while, but today I'm going to be talking about the United States, our relationship with the rest of the world, including our allies. What is our standing on the world stage all of a sudden? What is our standing on the world stage? Are we still that great country, that great, wonderful paradise we call the United States? Is it still the land of milk and honey? Is it still the promised land? Is it still the place where everybody wants to come? Are we still that place? And I'll tell you what, the reviews are mixed. So I'm going to be talking about that today. I'm also going to be talking about the Super Bowl. I watched the Super Bowl. And we'll be talking about Rihanna's performance during the Super Bowl. And we will also be talking about this week, I'll be talking about Valentine's Day. So, the other day, my producer, my best friend, we were having a conversation about my podcast, and he told me, he said, it's your podcast. You get to do what you want. You do what you want. You do what you want. So I've made some decisions concerning my podcast. I have decided to make my podcast more of an open format podcast. Just an open format podcast. Pick a few subjects and just go at those subjects. I think that might be a little bit better way to give you guys some better content. I'm still gonna practice not saying and you know what I mean. Try to keep the countdown anyway. And I guess that's what I'll be talking about this week. But first, I want to do a quick, fast mental health check. How is your mental health this week, folks? Did you succeed? Did you fail? The important part is that if you did fail, is that we get back up. We keep trying. I had a decent week. It wasn't the greatest week, but I had a pretty good week. Saw the psychiatrist, got my prescriptions renewed. So I should be good for another 3 months at least. But I want to make sure that everybody listening knows how important mental health is. That's why every time in the beginning of my podcast, I'm always going to do a mental health check. I'm always going to do that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep the mental health check because for me, it's important. And it's important for me to know that everyone who listens to me knows the importance of mental health, of having good mental health. It's important. Some people, and I've said this before in other podcasts, some people chalk it up to, that's bullshit. It's all in your head. Yeah, exactly. It's all in your head, but it's real, and it affects real things in your life. So I'm always going to be aware of my mental health and the mental health of those around me. And I'm going to make a commitment to myself and those around me to be more cautious and more conscious, more conscious. Had a hard time getting that out. Being more conscious of the things that people go through that affect their mental health. So, want to give a shout out to black people. Shout out to black people. Happy Black History Month. I got some problems with Black History Month, though. And the problem that I have about Black History Month is it's a month. But that's not the only problem that I have with that. The problem that I have with Black History Month is who appointed it Black History Month? Was it black people? Or was it a mix of people? Was it white people? Who made February Black History Month? Who decided? Who took the votes? Was it, like I said, black people, a mix of people, white people? Because I look at it like this. I'm black, right? For those of you who didn't know. And I find it really odd that as many black folks that there are in this country, that there is only 1 month dedicated to our history. They have relegated our entire existence in this country into 1 month. They have taken our whole, everything we've done and put it into a month. And to that, I say, fuck that. And the reason I say that is because we go through history every day. We make history every day. We make history every day. We have made history. We have created the history of this country. The history of this country was built on our backs. And there's only 1 month to celebrate that. Disgusting. I think that is absolutely disgusting. I think that we need to stop letting other people dictate to us about our history, what we are able to consume, when we are able to celebrate, what we are able to celebrate, how we're able to celebrate it. I think we need to stand up more to those impositions. Because that's what it is. We're going to step in and we're going to create this for you. No. How about you don't have to step in and let's create it for ourselves. Let's make our own Black History Year, Black History Decade, Black History Century, Black History Millennia, Black History Forever and always. It's always been here. It ain't going nowhere, regardless of who wants to take away our voice. And believe you me, there are plenty of people out there trying to take away our voice. They want to shut us up. They don't want people to know about our history, including us. Black history is so important and is very, very important to this country. And how dare people such as Ron DeSantis, and I'm just going to go ahead and say your name, man. How dare you? How dare you say that African American studies is not really education? It's not relevant education. To who? You? It's not relevant to you. Or how about I don't give a fuck, bruh, if it's relevant to you or not. It's relevant, and it's always going to be relevant, whether you try to write it out of existence here in your state or not. Period. You'll never be able to shut us up. I don't care how many votes you pass. And every black person out there listening to my podcast, if you voted for Ron DeSantis, or if like I said, if you voted for, fuck you from the deepest reaches of my heart. Because this man clearly does not care about us and does not have any bones about showing it. He don't care about our history. If it was up to him, I'm willing to bet if it was up to him in this state, there would be no Black History Month. That's fucked up to me. And you know what's more fucked up? Where I'm living right now. Well, let's put the prerequisite. Let's do this. A few weeks ago, I talked about Confederate monuments and festivals and all that stuff. Well, the Olustee Festival was the festival that I was talking about that was in the area that is taking place. And if you're unfamiliar with the Olustee Festival, there was a battle here during the Civil War. It was called the Battle of Olustee. It's a very small town. I've driven through it. We drive through it regularly. It's very small. It's in the Osceola National Forest here in Florida. It's a very, very small town, Olustee. But there's a battlefield here. And there was a battle fought here in the Civil War in which the Confederate soldiers won that battle against the Union soldiers. They won. And they celebrated, and they celebrated, and they celebrated their heritage. And yes, we celebrated our win to keep our niggers.
I wish I was in the land of cotton, old times that I'm not forgotten. Look away.
And to this day, they celebrate the fight that they won to keep their slaves. But they want that history remembered. They want to preserve that here. It's disgusting to me. It really is. It's really disgusting to me. It's hurtful, even. So I've decided to go to the Olustee Festival. Not to cause any trouble, because, like I said, I graduated high school in this town, and I actually went to the Olustee Festival when I was younger. And I didn't really realize when I was younger what it was about. So now I want to go as an adult, and I really kind of want to take it in. And I really kind of want to observe. And I want to see all these people who relish in that pride, in that hateful pride, because that's what it is. I mean, they couldn't have celebrated anything else. Like a woman down the street, she made the first apple pie, and we're going to celebrate that apple pie. No. We're going to celebrate the battle that we won to keep our niggers so that they could continue to enslave people. And thank God that the North won. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here on my podcast today. I'd probably be somewhere doing manual labor or some bullshit, doing some sort of crazy shit. But hey, it also leads me to this. Now, I have a lot of friends that have voted for the governor of Florida. A lot of friends. And that brings me to this. And I'm serious. And I understand that you're my friends, and I understand that we may have gone back all the way back as kids. I understand we might be, buddies and chums and all that, but I can't help but wonder, man. Do you feel like that? Is that your ideology too? Is that how you feel towards me as well and my history? Because you voted for this governor. Is that how you feel about what my people have had to endure here in this state, not even in this state, in this actual town? It's wild business. I mean, do I give you the pass? Or do I tell you this is the end of the road for us? And I'll put it to you like this. If that is your ideology, and that is your politics, and those are your beliefs, and that is what your core value is, and you're aligned with Ron DeSantis, then there's nothing else for us to discuss, because I don't align with that guy. And I don't align with him because I know at the very core of his existence, he does not give a fuck about me. So what does that say to you as my friend? Do you agree with him getting rid of the AP Studies courses? Do you agree with him getting rid of African American studies? Do you agree with that as my friend? Huh? I know a lot of you are, but I know a lot of you are on some, yeah, I agree with that. And for those people who agree with that, and that's where you stand, fuck you, unfriend me, lose my number, whatever. There's nothing more for us to discuss. It was good while it lasted, but it's time for you to kick rocks now, because now I know where your loyalties lie, and your loyalties don't lie with me. They lie with somebody who you've never met, and really, honestly, at the end of the day, doesn't really care about you either. So, happy Black History Month, folks. Happy Black History Month, black people. And even more so than that, happy Black History Life, black people. And I'm going to take this opportunity to also make this vow to myself and also to my children and my children's children, to teach them everything about Black history that I can learn, that I can learn, that I know myself, that I can squeeze out of my before I leave this earth, to make sure that they know, so they can pass it down to their children and their children, so we do not forget about our contributions to this great country. Which leads me to my next subject. What's happening with China and our relationship with China? I'm going to talk about that and more right after I get back from this bathroom break, because all of a sudden I've drank a lot of water. I'm trying to drink a gallon of water every day, and I've been having to go to the bathroom a lot, so I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, we'll get into Valentine's Day, the Super Bowl, and our relations with China. This is the Darren Harris Podcast.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
What's good, people? Next time you find yourself in bed with that special someone, be sure to get yourself some of JP's lambskin condoms. Not only are they great for brothers with latex allergies, but they're thinner than latex for that sweet, sensual sensation. So what are you waiting for? Head to jplsc.com right now and enter code VIBE for 30% off. That's jplsc.com, code VIBE for 30% off. I'll see you there. And remember, stay safe.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm back from the bathroom. Had to get some smooches with the wife. It was Valentine's Day the other day. I have to tell y'all about that. It's not what you expect, but we'll talk about that later on. But right now, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. That was a clutch word, a crutch word. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? I'm going to call them out. So today, I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, here you go, Mr. DeSantis. Here's some more black history for you. You ready? Some black history for you. I also want to give a shout out, and I will do the Dope Shit Award today because this is actually worth saying. This is dope. I want to say congratulations. Congratulations and well done, brothers, to Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Them two brothers is right now, what they have done is huge. What the two black quarterbacks for the first time in history to start the Super Bowl. Two black quarterbacks for the first time in history. And Patrick Mahomes joins a short list of Super Bowl winners and league MVP for the year. Congratulations again, brother, for making history. That's right, Mr. DeSantis. More history for you. You're never going to get rid of it. It's never going to happen, bro. It's always going to be around. I don't care what kind of bills you sign. We always going to be here. We always going to know what happened. And I'll make sure myself to teach every black person everything I know about black history that I can. Not just black people, anybody who wants to know. So, that's my way of fighting you. On top of that, I still want to talk about the Super Bowl. The game was phenomenal. It was a great game. I mean, I've watched Super Bowls that are like blowouts. Very rarely anymore do you get a really good game like that. Tom Brady just made it uneventful to watch for a long time. But I will say my team, Tom Brady couldn't get over that hump. The New York Giants, he just couldn't get over the giant hump. We beat him twice in the Super Bowl. Get off. Get down, Mr. Brady. Get down. Nah, but shout out to Tom Brady, man. You had a hell of a career, man, and there's going to be a lot of shoe for people trying to fill your shoes, but it's going to be hard, my man. But Patrick Mahomes is on the way. So look out. He's in your rear view. But I want to talk about, more specifically than the game, is I want to talk about Rihanna's halftime performance. As I pick up my piece of paper. I want to talk about Rihanna's halftime performance. She is catching a lot of heat for her performance. Believe it or not, people giving her straight hate. They throwing straight shade at her over her Super Bowl performance. What? Really? For real? Word? Really? She's pregnant. I mean, what do you want her to do? That's what I'm talking about. We have to jump through so many hoops. It doesn't even matter that girl's pregnant. Doesn't matter that she's a billionaire. Get out there and shake it around for us, monkey. You know what I'm saying? And that's, come on, man. That girl is pregnant. Get off her. And by the way, congratulations on y'all's first baby. Congratulations on that beautiful, beautiful picture that I saw. But they riding her, man. They riding her. They trying to give her shade for not giving an energy, action-packed Super Bowl performance. And you know what she said? I got $1 billion. She don't care. She don't give a damn. You know why? Because every dancer out there was wearing her clothing line. Those were her clothes that she designed from her actual clothing line. She ain't worried about what you think about her Super Bowl performance. She really isn't. I mean, people act like she should be on the U.S. Taekwondo team or something out there, half naked with some thong up her ass or something like that. Have some respect, man. Show some respect to that girl. She did what she could do. She did more than she should have did. I'll tell you that. She did more than she should have did. She's pregnant. And not for nothing, I'll tell you about, even when she's not pregnant, Rihanna goes above and beyond, way above and beyond, super above and beyond. So get off that girl, man. Put out hits every week. Every time she come out with something, straight up hit. Every time she comes out with anything, straight up hit. And they want to give us some flack because she didn't jump down and dance and scrub the ground and gyrate her pelvis. Ugh. Man. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And I'll tell you what, it's disgusting to me. It is disgusting to me that they're giving this girl shade for that. I just don't get it. Maybe, if they had fucking Stanley's halftime show, you'd see how hard it is. Get your ass out there, Stanley, and get on the fucking ground. How about that? If it was Taylor Swift, they would have been like, that girl's so brave. She's a groundbreaker. Oh my God, she's America's sweetheart. She's the best of us. Guarantee you. I'm so sick of that. We have got to be under so much scrutiny all the fucking time. We got to be 10 times better than everybody else to get a little bit of burn, man. To get a little bit of recognition. To get a little bit of anything. We have to scratch, scrounge, and scrape to get a little bit of anything. I'm done talking about the Super Bowl. Enough about the Super Bowl. I really want to talk about what's going on in the country right now with these balloons and UFOs and China and Russia and what's happening right now with the United States and all this stuff. I really want to know. This is what I really want to know. Is the United States, is it the land of milk and honey still? Is it that promised land that it promised to be? Is it? And man, the reviews are in. And it ain't looking good for America. It's starting to suck here for a lot of different reasons. Now, do I not want to be an American? No, I never said that. I'm proud to be an American. I'm born on the 3rd of July. How about that? Crutch word. I'm proud to be an American, but a lot of people are starting to turn their back on America because America is full of shit. I hate to say it. I have a friend, I wish I could find his name's Thomas Bland, but he told me something one time that really kind of stuck with me. He said, when you got to assess everybody. You got to assess everybody's bullshit to fact ratio, right? And I apply that to everything. I apply that to even countries. You have to apply their bullshit to fact ratio. A lot of people are seeing a lot of bullshit overseas. America is this and that and so on and so forth, and America and dun 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 dun. And when they fucking get here, it's bullshit. These are the facts. The fact is that a lot of this shit here is bullshit. And it's been declining. It's been in decline. It's our political party system. It really is. It's the political party system because they're no longer interested in serving the American people. Did you hear that? Let me say that one more time. Politicians are no longer, well, a lot of them, I won't say everyone because there are some that actually are still, they are no longer interested in serving us. They're not doing this work for us. They are doing this work for them. They're doing this work for them. Do you give a fuck about some espionage? I don't give a fuck about what some dude is eating in China. I don't care about that. They do. So they're in their business, just like they're in our business, just like we're in everybody else's business, and just like everybody else is in everybody's business. And the reason that is because it's all bullshit. It's bullshit that doesn't really directly well, it does affect you and I. And when I say you and I, I'm talking about people that live an everyday life. You know, I don't have anything. I don't live in a mansion. You know, I got a couple of dogs. I got a wife. I'm a regular guy. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. These people are not concerned with serving us anymore. They're not concerned with that. Wow, they mask it really good. Wow, they put it right up in your face. That, yeah, you guys are our main priority. Fucking bullshit. And I'll tell every single one of them in their face, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. I mean, really, Mr. DeSantis, I'd love to sit down and talk with you. I mean, just to talk with you, just to find out where your fucking head is, what your ideology is. Why would you do some of the things that you do that cut off so many things, man, that cut off so many people, that alienate so many people? Why would you do shit like that? And I can say the same thing for the politicians on the world stage. Is our diplomacy still the same? Are our allies still cool with us? I really don't know. But one thing I do know is we're about to go to war, or it sure is feeling like we're about to go to war with Russia and China. And then they're going to talk to Iran. And no doubt, that shit is about us. And the Ukraine and Thailand and the Philippines. And that has something to do with them and not us, man. I don't own no property in the Philippines. None. I don't own any property in China. I don't own any property in Russia. I don't own property there. But they own property here. All these people own property right here. Very few of us own property over there. Few of us do. Very few. Not as much as them. Not as much as anybody else. We're falling behind, y'all. We're falling behind on the world stage. And it's disgusting to me. Why? Because we are TikToking. You hear what I'm saying? We are TikToking. China has passed us up, man. They've passed us. And it's because we're not authentic anymore. And what I mean by that, we have very, very little authenticity. We have very little authenticity. We have some culture, but it's being suppressed. Actually, it's being stolen and pawned off as someone else's culture. They're doing it wrong. But think about this. There's so many companies here that we do business with China. Why don't I don't understand. I really don't understand. Okay, this is what I don't understand. This is the main thing I don't understand. You have the United States and you have China, the two most powerful countries in the world, right? The two most powerful countries in the world. How come y'all can't sit down and talk, man? And just break it down. Okay, what do you not like about us? What is the issue? How can we get to the middle or the center? How can we get down to the bottom of these issues? How can we repair what has gone wrong? Can we dedicate ourselves to trying to repair these relations? Now, China has some human rights violations that we don't necessarily get down with. And so does Russia and North Korea. We don't get down like that. They don't get down like this. And that's where the rift is we don't like them because of the way they are, and they don't like us because of the way that we are. And I just think that's the dumbest shit to ever exist. People need to be who they are. We need to be who we are. We need to be able to be who we are. We need to be able to be who we are without any retaliation, sanctions. We're launching $1 million missiles at $12 hobby balloons. What the fuck, y'all? For real. That just fucking, ugh. That is the funniest shit in the world. It's the dumbest shit in the world at the same time. Everybody is jumpy, man. Everybody's jumpy. I'm real jumpy because it just seems like we're cruising. We're about to fuck around and find out. Everybody on the planet. Because make no mistake about it. These people, they don't mind marching people in the war because they're not marching into war themselves. But I guarantee you, if all these congressmen and all these politicians, governors, march your ass into war as the governor. Now, I understand some of you governors, y'all had some military training, and good, great, welcome back. Get your ass out there. But the reason why is because they just send these people off to go fight their war. It's their war. It's their war. Because I don't like you. I don't like how you are. Or you didn't vote for what I wanted you to vote. It's their war. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. And that is something that I believe a lot of people have a hard time distinguishing. It has nothing to do with us, and they don't care about us. They don't. The only thing, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to just say it. The only thing that politicians care about is power and how to keep it. That's it. They don't give a fuck about us. And that's the truth, folks. That's the truth. And if you think it's not, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. They don't care. They just want to remain in power. Look at Donald Trump scratching his ass, scrounging and scraping to get back into power. Joe Biden doing everything he can to hold on to what little power he has. I'm going to go back to Ron DeSantis flexing the power that he has. It's about power, folks. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about school choice or lunch. It's not about that. It's just about them. It's what I feel. I ran for governor because I want this to happen. I'm going to have to call my man back. I'm getting a call on my messenger. I'm just going to let it go through. I'm doing my podcast, so I have to call my man back. I don't know, folks. I don't have much hope. I don't have much hope for the condition of the world today, because to me it just seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it's getting worse and worse and worse right here at home too, for different reasons though. On a different level, things are worse here. Things are worse on the world. They're bad on the world stage with us. But things here at home are bad here too. Is it still this land of milk and honey for the people that are already here? I don't know. It's very hard here. It's very hard. It's hard to find work for certain people. Mental health is a major issue in the country. We're definitely not the smartest country in the world. We ain't the dumbest, but we ain't the smartest either. Our innovation is really not on task with everybody else's, because we're too focused in on the wrong shit. We're too focused in on trying to be famous. And that's what it comes down to. We're trying to be famous. Everybody's trying to be famous. Everybody wants to have a persona. Everybody wants to have this persona that is popularized and monetized, and everybody wants a persona. They want to feel loved. They want to feel accepted. They want to feel needed. And man, did the Chinese get it right with TikTok? It's wild. Our whole country is wasting away while we're creating new dances. Now, don't get me wrong. I jump on TikTok and watch memes and things like that too. I'm not exempt. I'm not perfect. But I do recognize that it takes a significant toll on the development of our country. It takes time away from us developing things, creating things. The more time we spend doing things like that, the less time we spend doing things like innovating things. Somebody told me once that the TikTok that they use in China is different than the TikTok here. Here they show us stupid dances. Over there they show them things like how to repair information, software and things of that nature. Different things. We ain't doing good, folks. The pulse of the country is fading. We're killing it. We're killing our own country. And they're going to help us right along if we don't change, if we don't figure out a way to change it, if we don't figure out a way to band ourselves together. You think the Chinese aren't banded together? They banded together like a motherfucker. Some of them that protest, but for the most part, the motherfuckers that try to band together. We're not together. We are so divided. We are so divided here. And that, my friends, I'm sorry to say, is going to be our demise. We're going to be so divided here in just a little while. That is going to be our demise. We got people, killing each other over religion and race, and I just don't like you. And here now in Florida, I heard recently, I'm not sure how true this is, so don't quote me on this, but I just heard recently that you don't have to have a permit to conceal a weapon, a concealed weapon in Florida anymore. That blows my mind. So now anybody can carry a weapon anywhere, in the small of their back, anywhere. They can have a weapon right on them right here at the gas station. Little mouth off, pow. Because you know how Americans are. We're so eager to shoot some shit. so eager to go out and flex our firearms, flex our Second Amendment right. I'm going to say, fuck this Second Amendment. I'm going to tell you why. The Second Amendment wasn't for people like me. It was to curtail people like me. So they're going to need to rewrite that shit. They're going to need to rewrite that shit in order for me to not say, fuck the Second Amendment. So I don't see any presidential candidates in the near future coming up to save us from this, from this bullshit. I mean, because it's just going to persist, because I really strongly feel, because everybody's saying Ron DeSantis may throw his hat in the dance for president, and then Trump's going to run, and then there's some other people running, and the Democrats don't have fucking nobody. But I'm going to say this. I don't know if I said this last week. I'm going to say it this week again. If I said it last week, I'm going to say it this week again. Now, there are two political parties. There's actually the Independent Party, right? There's the Independent Party. That's actually what Trump started out as, but the Republicans were like, oh, you're going to suck all the votes and the Republicans are going to lose, so they made him run as a Republican. So he got all those votes, because otherwise he would have got a lot of votes for the independent side. And that would have ousted the Republicans. So they made him run as a Republican to give them some strength. And now that they're back on their feet, they don't really need him, and they're trying to cast him out to whence he came. And I just don't feel confident in the leadership of our country, because I do strongly believe that not everybody's interest is being considered. It's only their interests, what they are interested in. So, folks, if we decided that I wasn't going to vote Democrat and I wasn't going to vote Republican, I was going to be independent. Black people, hear me? Listen to me, black people. You listening? Or anybody, not even black people. Let me rephrase that. Not even black people. Fucking just people who are sick of the fucking Democratic and Republican bullshit. That is what I'm talking about. Okay? It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a race thing. It's not a religion thing. It's just a sick of this system, this establishment, the way that they have built in this country. They have lied so much. This country is built on so much deceit. It's built on so much hate and hurt. And they wave this fucking flag like it is the fucking greatest place, and it is one of the most hurtful places on the fucking face of this motherfucking spinning blue rock. So much pain here. So much turmoil here. So much narcissism and arrogance. Ugh. It makes me sad. It makes me sick. It makes me angry to sit here every day, and not for nothing, just this weekend, to sit here and watch this Olustee Festival get ramped up. Is this America still? Is this my land of milk and honey? Where me, as a black person who lives here in 2023 in a small town in Florida, I have to go downtown this weekend and watch a bunch of rednecks parade around the rebel flag in celebration of their oppression of my people. Is this my promised land? Is this my land of milk and honey? Is it yours? Everybody wants their little piece of land, but I'm afraid I'm really afraid. I bought myself a motorhome for a couple of reasons, really. Because if some shit pops off in this motherfucker, I'm going to Canada. Fuck y'all. I'm going straight to Canada. Fuck y'all. I'm not going to Mexico because the cartels be snatching motherfuckers and they be trying to run people in human trafficking. And I got a hot wife, so won't be going down to Mexico. I'll be trying to get up to Canada, and I'll just tough it out up there with Drake and everybody. I'm going to go hang out with Drake. Because it's going to be hard to be here after a while. And I'm just speaking from my heart. It's going to be hard to be here. It's going to be sad to not be. It's going to be sad to not have this. But if we continue the way that we're continuing, America ain't going to be here, folks, because people don't like us because of our politics. It's not because of who we are as people, because there's some good people in America. And believe it or not, there's some great white folks. There's some great black folks, Indian folks, Asian folks. The list goes on. There's some great people here. And it's just a shame that we have to be represented by people who aren't. That's all I'm going to say about this subject today. Maybe I'll talk about it later. But I'm starting to get upset, and I don't want to be upset. I know everybody's like, get upset, start yelling, but I don't want to be upset. I got stuff to do today. I got stuff to do today after this. So I don't want to really get upset about it. So I'm going to quit talking about it. I'm going to switch gears really fast to Valentine's Day and relationship goals. I am going to keep my relationship goals because I love my wife and I love my relationship with my wife. And if I'm trying to flee and escape peril here sometime soon, then I want my wife with me. So this is relationship goals. Talking about Valentine's Day today. It's going to be brief because our Valentine's Day actually was pretty brief, and it was not as what everybody expected. We didn't fight or argue or anything like that. We just got tired and went to bed. We turned into some straight up old people. Now, my wife is into things like this. She's into Halloween and St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day, and she sells adult novelties also. So things like Valentine's Day really kind of resonate and they hit home here, really close to home here. So we had talked about this big Valentine's Day extravaganza and, whipped cream and, licky loose stuff and all kinds of everything. Man, 9:45, we was out. Out. We was laying there asleep, rubbing on each other. You should have saw that. It was ridiculous. We was asleep, rubbing on each other, fading into sleep, just on some yeah, on some sleep. Man, but you know what? It was still a great Valentine's Day. She worked during the day. And we just remained playful during the course of the day. She was a little busy at work, so we still tried to just maintain our playfulness. I didn't cook dinner. She wanted wings instead for Valentine's Day, so we got some wings. They were delicious. I was going to make something, but she was like, no, don't make anything. So we can have this extravaganza later that we both fell asleep on. So I didn't make anything, but I told her that I would definitely be making something this week. So I'm going to try and dust off the old cookbooks here and make my wife a good old yellow cake because that's what she likes. I was going to try to make some sort of extravagant cake or something like that. Maybe some German chocolate red velvet or something. I don't know. But she wants just some straight up yellow cake. So I'm going to make her some straight up yellow cake for Valentine's Day. Belated Valentine's Day. Several days after Valentine's Day. We didn't celebrate it too heavily, but that does not mean that in your relationship that this is the only time that you show your person that they are important to you. because I know a lot of people look at Valentine's Day as the one day that they gotta, oh man, I gotta go out there and do this, and I gotta go get, and it just for some people it becomes a burden. Oh my God, I don't want to, and I gotta admit, sometimes I'm a little scroogey, or I have been a little scroogey about it myself, just because it's one day and it's always in the middle of the week and people are working, and it just never falls. It never really, you know what I mean? That's a crutch phrase, but it was appropriately placed. So sometimes I have been a little scroogey about it, but I participate. I'm a lover. Not a fighter, but I'm also a fighter, so don't get any ideas, as the most interesting man in the world would say. But my wife is really heavily into it. And the world needs love. And I'm going to say that again. The world needs love. And I know it sounds corny, but yeah. You, Mr. Hard Rock Thug, you need some love, man. Calm down. Calm that shit down. All this macho shit going around right now just is not good for us. We need to get back to loving each other, man. And everybody can be everybody's Valentine. Let's love our country. Let's love ourselves and love our each other. My wife is my Valentine, but you know what? My listeners are my Valentine also, because I love you guys, man. Anybody who is listening to me right now, who's taken the time to listen this far into my podcast, I love you guys. And I thank you, man. I really do. I really love the fact that you listen. I love you for listening. Spread that around. Spread that around. Now, you don't have to come over here touching and feeling on me or nothing like that. But just know that I love you. So, I think that is going to conclude the Darren Harris podcast for this week. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next week. Like I said, I'm going to continue to try to have this open format dialogue in my podcast. I'm trying to take a little more time so that I am more articulate and I give you guys better content. I am trying to be cautious of the ums, uhs, and you know what I means. I used a few today. I wonder what the count was. Hopefully it wasn't so high. And yeah, so I want to thank my wife for being my wife. Definitely always want to thank my mother. I want to thank my best friend, Jesse Yandel, for being the man. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for giving me the platform to speak my mind. And I know sometimes it may be hard to listen to, but I do thank you. I want to thank everybody who has listened before and is no longer listening, who has just now tuned in to listen, and those who have continued to listen, and those who have not listened yet. You guys can go over to my website if you want to check out some other things that I'm into. It's www.myname.com. It's not my name. It's actually DarrenHarris.com. My name's spelled DERON, Harris.com. Or you can look me up also on my social media. I'm the only one who looks like I do. Although there are several other Darren Harrises. There's a few Darren Harrises out there that have committed some serious crime. I have not. I am not those Darren Harrises. I'm this Darren Harris. So tune back in next week where this Darren Harris will have another installment of the Darren Harris podcast. Thank you very much for joining. Love you guys all. Happy Valentine's Day. Peace.